quite reliably. You know, you had Necrox play Hibana an awful lot. There really is no comfortable Thermite player. EG is going to get the first attacking ban, though, and this is what I suspect would probably be the Heartbreacher, but no.
Wow.
It will be Lion. So not really wanting to deal with Lion at all for Evil Geniuses. We've seen NVK play Lion an awful lot. Rogue has been one of the weird teams that hasn't reliably ran a Lion. Is this going to be a Glass ban? There you go. So we skip over the Hard Breach ban. Thermite, Hibana, and Maverick are all going to be in action here. As for Rogue's ban, no, it's probably going to be Amira. I know you said that they shoehorn it in, but it's also one of BC's strongest operators.
No.
But instead they'll take Pulse, a direct counter ban to Canadian. That's a great intel operator and an ability to frag quite well on a 3-speed too.
The mirror ban on console has always just been iffy for me. It just rubs me the wrong way. If EG decide to take it out, all the power to them. But I think the Pulse ban's a good target. No, it's the Echo, so the mirror slips through. And I think the Echo is much more of a dominant force as a plant delay and just a defensive operator as a whole on Consulate. There are maps where the Echo doesn't work as reliably, and a mirror would be a better choice. Oregon comes to mind.
Yeah.
But on Consulate, I can see the Pulse and the Echo ban. That's a lot of advanced intel that you're not going to receive. And EG taking their time, actually. You see Rogue already locked in, all operators, all spawns, and right now it's slowly filing in as everyone decides their operators to take. And they'll head topside. NVK taking the Castle. That might be a 6 pick, because we didn't really see any Castle strats topside from EG last game.
Could possibly be done to try and confuse them as to what site too. Castle tends to be an operator where you see him run in a way that directly makes people think that they're going to go to another site. Border, a great example. You'll run a Castle 6 pick off of them. People will think you're going to go to Ventilation and Workshop, but they're going to stick around. And it's going to be Geo flexing from the Valkyrie onto the Maestro.
You've also forced shuttled to 6 pick off the Thermite onto the Zofia in direct correlation with the Castle. So top floor hold to start things off. EG going to start the first half on defense. Top floor, the first bomb site on Consulate. And same thing I said about their game against Mocket. Start strong. Put your foot on that gas pedal, set the tone, set the pace, because honestly, the competition they've gone against so far has been nothing compared to Rogue, and Rogue look completely in form right now, at least through what we've seen the last few days. They look dominant, and it's going to take a full team effort of probably playing at your 10 out of 10 level for EG to take down Rogue, or else they're going to be sent packing.
Yeah. So interesting. I mean, Castle's not that weird to take on this site here. We see Castle get run on lobby downstairs as well, and then you just use those Castle barricades to expand the sites. It's basically going to be your biggest focus as a Castle, and you can see they're managing to Castle off the possible push from Spiral Stairs. Probably Castle off a door and connector, maybe, or even use it on the admin side. Usually you would see a Castle over there with a Mira, and I mean, Mira's available, EG's not running, and this is something that's quite common with a lot of teams, is because Mira is banned so often, a lot of teams don't set up strats with Mira because you don't scrim with her all that time, because the presumption is that she'll be banned more often than she won't.
Tron gonna spot out, I believe that was MVK, the Castle laying down in copy hallway. Couldn't quite tell.
It was indeed the Castle of NVK playing in Copier, and Canadian on the Vigil. It's gonna pop right up. That slash gone, but Eclipse will be there too, at least traded off with a frag grenade tossed in through admin. Canadian, that was the Vigil, who'd already lost most of his HP. He's gone from action.
Good trade outs there, down to a 4v4, a minute gone, so one on either side. You lose the Capitao, though, and Slash on the side of Rogue. Compared to the Vigil of Canadian, I take that trade on EG side any day of the week, and burning more ADSs, and hot placing the ADSs is Young in the northeast corner to try and stall out Rogue even longer on this push, and it looks like it's going to send Eclipse downstairs, try and rip the floor beneath him, pressing in through Visa. Now repelled on the south side windows, trying to get an angle. He's going to go prone and expose himself easily. Will be the one to take him down on the IQ. Young will fall. That's admin control lost. You have Geo pressing, but NVK pressing down Spiral Stairs will remove Eclipse from play, leveling up man count once again. Health advantage on the side of Rogue, but they are running out of time and resources swiftly.
I mean, they managed to take admin, which is probably going to be where you see the biggest focus for them. And admin can be a particular thorn in your side to take, especially when we used to have Mira in play. It's surprising not to see a Mira window situated on that wall, just because she's available. It's so strange not to see it. But admin was the main site that EG was defending, so now they're going to have to fall back and just guard on-site. BC playing the smoke that they're going to need. It's a role that we often saw Necrox or even Young on, but this time around it's going to be BC, and you can see he's only got 4 shots of that shotgun left. So it's a pretty powerful tool. I know that we're used to seeing the smoke running with that SMG-11, but he's still got four effective kills if he needs it. There's only 3 members of Rogue, and the push comes in as a Claymore gets set down to possibly prevent a rotate towards the top of Visa stairs. So BC will be the man guarding the objective just inside of that projector room, and the wall will blow up. Shuttle just getting a couple warning shots down through long desk. BC pulls out that SMG-11 and easily gone. That's the IQ. A smoke from BC will also prompt Shuttle to have to push back, and the 2 newest members of Rogue are the last 2 up. Super and Shuttle, what are they able to accomplish together? Shuttle unable to outduel NVK, and Super will have to sprint in right into the waiting arms of BC, and EG will lock out round number 1. A good start for them on their map, and a pretty decent hold on a map that can be pretty tough to attack. They'll have to go down either lobby or the bottom floor, or even that new 4th site, if we will ever see it.
I mean, if there was ever time to pull that out, it would definitely be now. I'm really impressed by EG on that hold, honestly. That was a great amount of time wasted, and Canadian getting aggressive on those south windows to pressure in, take down Slash like early, gets traded out, but they kill enough time and they eat up enough resources. You saw all the Zofia concussions and impacts being used to try and clear the ADSs, Young hot swapping the ADSs inside of the northeast corner, also forcing Eclipse to rotate downstairs, waste more time into the waiting arms of NVK, who would push down Spiral. So a wonderful job there, great coordination. I mean, we talked about EG not really having that coordination so far. I think that was one of the best rounds we've seen all day.
Yeah. And it really came down to that admin hold too. So many resources, as you said, that it required Rogue to have to commit just to try and take admin. Then by the time you finally did take admin, you bled them dry of some pretty heavy utility, a lot of gadgetry that had gone spent on simply 2 frags, and then EG consolidated. They had BC playing that tight wall, and even though the Hibana was trying to open up the wall behind long desk to maybe put some pressure on BC, they still couldn't freely push that wall on long desk because there could have been somebody from Evil Geniuses covering from console office all the way down, and you're very exposed when you're in that hallway. There's not a lot of cover outside of maybe playing by the aforementioned long desk. You don't really want to put yourself in a position where you're that vulnerable. That's what Shuttle tried to do, and as he pushed up, that's exactly where Evil Geniuses was waiting, just by bathroom, able to take out the Zofia, and Super just had nowhere to go as he tried to barnstorm the site. Couldn't get anything going. So we'll head downstairs and we'll see what Rogue will be able to put together. Rogue typically does run a very standard composition, and they have their operator pool set up the way they do. We don't see any Maverick. Obviously, no Thermite, even though he is available too, and easily is going to take a couple shots to the feet through that main door. That IQ pick could have been particularly crucial because you can't mark those evil eyes and possibly even the ADSs to know exactly where you need to burn them for Shuttle.
Like another admin attempt on a take here for Rogues. Not on the same playing field, or plane, sorry, as the objective. They're going to go all the way downstairs, but they want to go for the clear. Make sure there's not going to be any flanks coming from behind. It looks like it's a Canadian playing topside. Pressing in toward the administration desk room, I guess you could call it. He's going to rotate back. He doesn't want to press the advantage too early. 2 repelling into admin as they'll both go for the cross, and Rogue trying to collapse in and lock down Canadian, and it was a specific game in Paris, I can't remember which, but it was Canadian on roaming dock on bank, and he was allowed to maneuver the map with ease. No one ever really pinching and collapsing upon him. He got a 4K on the round, and looks like Rogue don't want to allow that at all. The Eclipse going to drop Canadian with a nice shot and a flick towards yellow stairs. That's going to be the roaming dock potential taken away. They're going to be much more confident about flank coming from behind.
It came in right as Canadian fell off of the angle he was holding too. I think he assessed that he wasn't really in any particular danger, and as he tried to move down, that's when he got pounced upon. So, but hey, easily walking right down Visa stairs, and he'll be rewarded with Young, the Maestro, being taken out. This is 2 daggers now that Rogue is thrust into the heart of Evil Geniuses on round number 2, and 2 very crucial operators. It's just going to leave your fragging potential that's left on the Mute and the Jaeger. Obviously, you've still got the nice gadgets that you need on the smoke of BC, but Geo losing all but a tiny bit of his health as he was under assault. So this is Rogue controlling the map as they see fit. They've got almost complete map control at this point. You can have the Buck set up office inside of Piano, and just waiting to see who is playing inside a bathroom. NVK could possibly go for the flank, but that's going to be Eclipse needing to remain ever vigilant. He'll take a couple bolts, or a couple shots to the foot, as he's just surveying the holes that he's created inside of Piano.
NVK finally going to press out of the bathroom and drop Eclipse with a wonderful shot. Now it's up to Shuttle to try and refrag this out. Escaping to the bathroom hallway, but dropping his Geo at the hands of Easily. Presses down the office hallway. A split push here for Rogue. Trying to re-ascertain the control over that rotate inside of Kitchen will be BC. Maneuvering back and forth. One upstairs and one on site. BC shot in the back, unaware of where Easily had gone. Now rotating back to try and reclaim site in a 1v4. Shooting the flank drone, gonna give away his position. Easily with another turn and flick. Rogue bring it right back, and that's Easily with, I believe, a 3K on the round.
Very interesting to know what EG's coverage was there, with BC being fed information of a push down Visa, why he decided to move up towards that staff area doorway, but had his back totally to Easily. And you mentioned that Canadian, when he was playing on roaming dock, was able to control the map. Well, I'd say that Easily was the one who could do it that time. He was basically just given the entire area on Consulate after they had taken the second floor and pushed Canadian off after Eclipse was able to get the opening kill. It was just all Easily from that point on, being able to catch at least 2 separate members of Evil Geniuses off guard, and a great closeout to that round. Allow EG to go back down to the cafeteria and garage, which is where they'll go, and, well, would you look at that? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Rogue is going to run the exact same lineup that they did last time because it worked, but it does appear that they did a Capital last time, did they not? And we just didn't get to see it used at all.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Slash was not a factor whatsoever.
No, I don't think I said his name
Slash,
once.
I don't think Slash contributed really anything in that round outside of maybe some support work or even some drone work, as, yeah, he was credited for 1 assist at some point, but it did definitely seem that shuttle in the buck of Eclipse inside of Piano and then just easily off on his own was really all they needed.
I was going to say, I didn't say Super's name once either.
Super and Shuttle, or Super and Slash were just, the execute didn't even come down, which is why I would imagine those are 2 execute-heavy operators, especially with Capital, who you're going to need in the thrust to start things off with an execute. He was probably a little detached, as Easily was pushing solo, and
10 seconds remaining.
Very easy for us to have been critical of Easily if he pushed in solo and ends up getting killed. You'd say, well, why would you go in all on your lonesome? But that's what makes Easily so versatile as a player.
Attackers are moving
Well, I
out
mean,
to locate a bomb.
I think one of the things that picking up both Super and Shuttle has done is add versatility to Rogue's arsenal, and we'll see if that continues to play out over this tournament.
So Canadian not electing to stay on the dock. He's going to favor some versatility and some mobility here as he elects for the 3-speed Vigil instead of the 1-speed Dock. So flying out by Vending Machine once again. So same pathing route for him, but nonetheless, Easily is actually going to be repelling outside the spiral windows. Try and cut off that rotate early. It's going to be up to Canadian to either recognize this or luckily go for a rotate through a meeting room instead. Eclipse was thinking about throwing an nade, so they might not know quite where Canadian is just yet, but his ERC will run down. It's only a 12-second timer on it now. As he shoots a drone, his position will be given away. Pre-fire's in, but Canadian's going to drop out. He goes for the hatch drop, and now he's going to join NVK on the main floor.
So Canadian's plan of action is just to kill time. That's a great use of Vigil's gadget. Of course, Vigil is probably the best roamer in the game at the moment. His ERC, that's his cloaking device, is in a position where for, an X amount of time, if you let it regenerate, you can simply just continue to evade drones as much as humanly possible. Of course, it does have a radius / area of effect around it, so people can somewhat largely pinpoint where you are, but it requires you often to have to try to look with your own eyes rather than a drone. A possible tussle down here between Eclipse and Canadian. Last time around, Eclipse was able to win that, and we'll see if those numbers shift in any direction. Canadian poised and ready under the hatch, waiting to see if the buck of Eclipse will move. Canadian will have to rotate after being droned down and just waiting to see if he's going to push towards spiral stairs, but will go in through bathroom and drop yet another hatch to head back down towards the site. But all in all, Evil Genius's roam has been able to perplex Rogue for roughly about a minute and a half at this point, and Rogue doesn't have anywhere near as much map control right now as they did this stage last round.
They spotted out MVK in the bathroom hallway main floor, but they haven't really done anything about it. Just finally pressing in to get this piano control, start ripping up the floor. So the execute is going to have to come out this time from Rogue. There's not enough time on the board to just get the frags and run, barring some incredible throw from EG. And MVK was a force to be reckoned with inside this bathroom last time around. And he's positioning himself to possibly go for the drop as well, just take the time waste. There's only 40 seconds left. Looking down through the floorboards, able to light up BC, but unable to secure the kill is Eclipse. MVK wanting to press out and engage. He's surrounded now inside a bathroom. It's just time wasting and taking anyone with him that he can if he doesn't want to drop. Shuttle rotating around. They're ignoring NVK for now, and that was the problem last time, is they let NVK sit for way too long, and he peeked out. forced under the push. Canadian will start things off with 20 seconds remaining on this Archives blue hallway flank. NVK joining in as he drops Eclipse. It's down to a 5v3. They finally get the garage wall open as well as Super ejects the X-Kairos. Shuttle with 2 frags though. A 3 now for Shuttle. A 4th one now for Slash. The plant needs to come down, and it's up to Canadian to go for the retake. Guns down Slash, cover from behind White Van. The plant gets completed and they both bail out. It's a small hole there, possible for a long arm for Canadian, but they'll have the drone. ERC to cloak him, but low on HP. Canadian is going to have to get aggressive. They're opening up more kill holes from opposite angles. He might have to go for the run out here. An aggressive peek, but it's Super that'll shut him down. A 5v3 thrown away for Evil Geniuses.
Shuttle single-handedly making his impact known.
Yes.
And then Super adding to that with a smart play that would have opened up another vantage point in that garage wall, but didn't even really need it. Couldn't even activate his X-Kairos in time as the footsteps of the Vigil being picked up, either that or by the drone, as you'd mentioned, that was on the bomb, or on the diffuser, rather, that allowed them to know that there was a Vigil coming. And Canadian was welcomed by Mr. 1.6 himself, just standing outside of the garage. So Rogue able to lock around that out around that. I feel like I've said this a lot of times today. Really probably shouldn't have gone in favor of Rogue. That definitely looked like EG was in the driver's seat there. They only failed to have appropriate coverage on yellow stairs, and that was their total undoing, as Shuttle just came right down the yellow stairs and had complete line of sight towards the hallway, bottom of Spiral, all the way into the staff area, and nothing to do. All you need is apparently one Shuttle, who's going by Shuttle AK now. At least it's better than Freedom, which was the handle that he went under for CLG.
Yeah, that was rough.
For quite a while.
Defenders,
but
protect your bombs from being
overall, a really good individual performance. And at that point, this is the second time in a row now, a push at the start of an execute from Rogue catches Evil Geniuses off guard. Now, I don't know exactly where the calls are being made. I don't know who's doing the comm work on EG. Adding somebody like Geo, who's able to add mid-round calling, is an obvious benefit. Because then you get another voice, you get another leader, voice of leadership, another person capable of said leadership that you add to your roster. But it can be kind of tough to adapt to that right away, because who exactly is taking the lead on these calls? From my understanding, Canadian has transitioned back into a position where he's now speaking more than BC was and is doing the primary shot calling. Resume the position of IGL if that's the case, then that means that BC's job is going to be split, I would imagine, with Geo's doing the mid-round calling, but that's something that I'm guessing they'll probably figure out the more that they get accustomed to playing with Geo. I know that Geo's mid-round calls were not just a reason why Evil Geniuses wanted him, but was also a reason why Rogue wanted him, because he was able to add another voice alongside Slash and easily, as we're gradually seeing teams do away with the typical one person is an IGL and one person alone style of strategy. We also have a Maverick on the board for this particular round. That's going to be Slash, and see what he's capable of doing downstairs, as EG yet again is going to roll the die on a site they can't do much on, but Canadian just ruining Eclipse's day. He tries to repel into admin. That Vigil play at Canadian, this is the second time he's gotten to pick an admin to start things off.
At least it was 50 seconds in instead of with 20 seconds left, so EG starting things off a little better this time. EG also digging their heels in. They're committed to getting this win downstairs, if it even be the demise of them. Easily droning out towards Tellers, where Canadian is currently stationed, and another entry repelled by Canadian. 2 headshots. That's easily an Eclipse, both gone at the hands of Troy. Trying to breach open the wall, just a nice little peek hole here for Slashug with the Maverick Torch. Super very hesitant to push in as he soul hard breach, well, soul entry hard breach. Slash has made a hole in the garage, but can't exactly walk through that. Doesn't want to push in towards Canadian either. He's found a hot hand. He's going to continue the momentum as he pushes back towards Piano, and NVK playing inside the walk-in closet inside of main lobby. He's going to notice that Shuttle's taken down the default, but Shuttle instead electing to push down Spiral, stay away from the action, and possibly pull off what Easily did just a round ago, or 2 rounds ago, where he walked in and took 3 with him.
And the 2 drones that are on the board right now are both Slash as well as Super. Shuttle, who was just going in blind, is spotted by Geo, and that'll be a kill for Geo on the board, leaving Evil Geniuses in a great position to just simply hold this out and possibly take down the garage site for the first time. Unaware, the Maestro of Young almost gets spotted by the Maverick of Slash. Super's going to take an engagement down in the basement corridor, looking in towards office, but Young wins that one, and Slash now has spent too much time doing his job appropriately, but the rest of his team falling apart. Slash will have the unfortunate task of taking on 5 members of Evil Geniuses with the time firmly on the side of the defenders. Young and BC both very low on HP. And don't get me wrong, the M4 is a terrific gun, but all EG needs to do is just hold down that one angle on yellow, and there's going to be too many sites for Slash to try and fend off. Whether it be NVK, whether it be Young, whether it be anybody on EG, it'll be NVK credited with the kill, and we'll tie things up.
Just a perfect round from Evil Geniuses. I mean, it was starting out that way last time as well. EG get the first 2 frags, and they're in a strong position. They're in the driver's seat, but then it's Rogue with the volley back coming down the yellow stairs, like you said. This time, yeah, there was just nothing for Rogue. They couldn't get in the building. Canadian kept maneuvering around the map, and kind of like what I touched on with his roaming dock play on the bank game in Paris, same thing here. He's roaming around uncontested. No one's even in the same stratosphere as him. He's constantly moving and staying undetected from the drone work. A great job hiding inside of tellers and playing the waiting game perfectly. Doesn't shoot the drone, easily walks straight in, and he gets 2 frags to start things off. The rest of the team doing their job. They dig their heels in. I said they committed to winning downstairs, even if it would be the demise of them, and it turns out this might be the exact thing they need to get back in form.
So, site unlocked, back up top to console. We'll see no lobby from Evil Geniuses. Possibly await Rogue and see if they're going to do it. Alas, no 4th bomb site from EG. Not really the time to whip it out, let's be honest with you. You're not going to do it in a quarterfinals matchup unless you've got a lot of strategies, and I don't expect that to come from a team that's just adding a new player to the roster. Maybe for a team that hadn't made any changes, I could see SK maybe doing it. Yeah. I could see maybe Cloud9 doing it. One of the teams that hasn't made the change, maybe even Secret, possibly employing that site if need be, but I don't think there's been a consensus that's emerged quite yet as to whether or not it's a site worth defending. I think a lot of teams see it kind of as the redheaded stepchild, similar to me, except I am nobody's stepson.
5 seconds to go.
I'm just redheaded, that's all.
There you go. So back upstairs, Evil Geniuses head. And once again, Canadian on the Vigil, gonna be playing an admin aggressive on the windows, looking to start things off. Easily heading to the Jackal. That is an interesting decision. Obviously bringing the smokes instead of on the Capitale that Slash was bringing previously. He's now opted to stick the Maverick long term, so seeing a new trend here for Rogue. New operators being selected, and we'll see if this can shape things up. It is their last attacking round in regulation, at least here on round number 1. They'll head to the defense after this round regardless of the outcome. And it'll be Evil Genius' turn to attack. But in the meantime, Canadian right on the window again, repelling the entry. Does not want Rogue to even get in the building, and Shuttle will fall early.
Second time. It's the 3rd round in a row where now Canadian has played this aggressive spot. He was found by the frag grenade of Eclipse rather. In the 1st round after being traded off for a kill. Then we saw him on the dock, and in the last 2 rounds after that, playing on the Vigil. I think the Jackal is a direct counter, but look at that, easily trying to play on this window. There's going to be another, but establishing a crossfire as both Super and Eclipse will double up on Canadian, and it requires 2 people to fend off 1 Vigil. Look at that, BC unaware, and that's the power of Maverick as he makes just the smallest and most discreet kill hole inside of the castle barricade. And the Smoke, who usually should be one of the last operators to die, won't make it past the halfway mark here on the final round of the 1st half.
Just eclipsing midway, and I would say EG are in a good position, but Rogue have elected to go for a rotate now. They don't want to even mess with the admin take. They've opted to swap over to the B windows. Slash immediately getting aggressive on those windows as that silent destroyer, the silent hole poker. He cut right through that castle barricade like a hot knife through butter, displaced of BC rather swiftly.
I like how you go from silent destroyer, which sounds just undeniably badass.
Yeah.
And then you go to the silent hole poker.
The hole poker, exactly.
Which doesn't sound badass in any universe. I like it. I like it. You like to keep people guessing as to what you're gonna say next.
Exactly.
I think that's very apt. The silent menace of Slash, and also with Eclipse from below, possibly do some remodeling on the floor, just waiting agonizingly close to seeing the Jaeger of Young, but we'll have to try to head towards the spiral stairs. Now keep in mind there was the castle barricade up there. 1 round of the X-Kairos from Hibana will be used to open up the castle barricade that looked to be inside a console office. diverting away from the admin push, I think, is a very wise idea here. And EG, see 2 bodies coming up. Yellow, that's up on NVK to possibly take advantage of it, but he is just simply outmanned and outgunned. Now as Young tries to rotate into connector, he'll be stopped. That's going to be just up to Geo in a 1v3 against his team. Shuts down one, but cannot get the other. Slash will conclude the first half as Maverick just chews right through Maestro of Geo, and we will now head to Rogue on defense.
That was very unfortunate, as Super repelling in had Diffuser in hand. So 6 seconds left, Geo's got Diffuser down, but he's got 2 attackers bearing down on him swiftly from yellow stairs with a lot of aggression. It is an unfortunate situation playing behind the deployable shield. I think 6 seconds would be enough for Slash or Eclipse to get in position and jump over the shield, even if Geo tried to hide. So he made the smart play, even though it might not have looked like it, to try and turn and fight, as you have the... You haven't even shot a bullet yet on the Alda, so you still got 81 in the drum magazine. Just unfortunately couldn't flick in time and get the bullets on point.
I mentioned that there's not really a Thermite player on Evil Geniuses, and we see Young going to be rocking it.
Again, did it against Mocket as well.
A lot of times, Necrox would be playing the Hibana. That was partially his role. We have Young flexing onto it, and of course, with the glass band, Geo is forced to play something else. Ying is a pretty good operator to frustrate the defense.
Bomb located.
Yeah, it seems like that's Geo's role, is to play something that is just going to very handedly upset the enemy team, whether it's the Glaz looking through the smoke or it's a Ying just launching Candela after Candela at you. His role on attack is clearly to upset you greatly, to tilt you off the face of the earth.
Right off. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time we're going to get a look at Amira. Even though she remains unbanned, we remarked on this, I believe, yesterday when we casted together that
5 seconds to go.
Amira was not banned, and yet we did not see Amira. It was either you and I or Emzo and I. As we mentioned earlier, these have been long days, so it's hard to remember exactly how the rotation goes because we don't really have a set duo. It's not like we're always casting together, or Emzo and you are always casting together. So, but I know that there was a match that we witnessed in the last 24 hours in which Mira was unbanned, yet we just didn't see her at all. And that, I think, is very peculiar, to say the least. We'll see what they can bring out. Of course, with Rogue, both Evil Geniuses and Rogue have very proficient Mira players, so it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. It's usually BC's role that he fulfills on defense, but he's been switched off to the smoke, easily playing the Mira, but working in tandem with Slash. Of course, Brian is the default smoke. And you've got Super and Shuttle both roaming, so a little bit of role swaps for Rogue here that has paid dividends in their 2 previous matchups against both Chaos as well as Core, I believe, was the first team they played.
Most likely. VK repelling in the yellow window, and looks like it's just going to be mostly a yellow stairs push with opening up the garage as MVK gets in position, takes out some bandit batteries from the safety of the yellow stairs pillar. Wall going to get opened up now by EG, and only a minute deep into the round, they're in a good spot, and everyone on Rogue assembled themselves on site. Super in a good position to go for a flank, and looks like exactly what he's pivoting himself to do, as well as Shuttle. They're both going to evacuate site up a staircase of their own. Super up spiral, Shuttle up Visa, and they'll go for a long flank. Shuttle most likely going to go top down and come down upon NVK from the yellow stairs. This is currently camped up by Vending Machine, and Geo targeting himself to try and go for a hard brute force push with those Candelas through the garage and probably position himself to cover for a plant from Young. The smokes from BC are going to be crucial here, though, to block the vision of these mirror windows.
A perfect circle being made right next to the Mira of easily playing down inside of that office. But don't forget the fact that Eclipse is up top, still in that bathroom with the Mira available to him. Easily he's just going to walk right out and manages to avoid all the Candelas, but Super starting things off as Geo trades easily right back. And I'm not exactly certain what happened here, but it does appear that we might have everything just tied up for the time being. So he'll come back to us as there was just so much action that you have to come look at our beautiful faces.
Broke the game. Oh no, it crashed.
Oh no, it crashed. That's okay.
Well, A for effort.
I love that it actually says, oh no, it crashed.
Yeah.
It says it because it's like, oh, this wasn't intended.
That's unfortunate.
I'm not entirely certain. Sometimes when this happens, the game continues onwards.
Well, beside his mirror and just tried to challenge up, obviously. Fell later, but...
For the record, I'm assuming that it has to be replayed the same, because these are the exact same operator lineups for both of the teams, same players, on the same operators, same site, everything, all that jazz.
All right, so we just start up. It's a brand new half. Nothing ever happened.
Locate and defuse
We're all
bomb.
good. So back downstairs, Rogue gonna go for most likely the same setup. I mean, maybe some small alterations here or there, but there weren't really any holes that were exploited by EG in the first few minutes of that round before it all fell apart. And that bathroom mirror, like you talked about, it was, I believe it was Eclipse upstairs, like you said, on the mute jammer, ready to drop at a moment's notice. Don't really see why they wouldn't elect to go for that again, because the only real entry into the building until the rush through the garage panel came was NVK coming down yellow stairs to dispatch the bandit batteries.
10 seconds
After
left before
that, it was just the garage rush. There was not a lot of map control from EG, and granted, garage isn't necessarily the site where you need the most map control, but some would be nice.
The frustrating part with a rehost when this sort of stuff needs to be played in the same way is that if you've droned it out successfully, you know the setup.
Yep.
So the attackers have an inherent advantage because they know the way that the defenders have crafted the site to their liking. They can have a lot more time to assess how they want to push the site, how they can possibly tackle it. Now, after the setup is done, the defenders are obviously free to play the way they want. You can rotate out who sits behind the mirror. You can rotate out who sits in what area, who's roaming and who's not. But it looks like it's going to be another very quick take on the garage as an EMP will go down. That'll probably dislodge the mute jammers from Eclipse. And, I mean, we'll take a look and see here if EG's going to be able to get this garage door open as quickly as he can. Still one bandit battery down, but I think that Young is assuming there will be bandit tricking. Not going to be the case, as we can see that Shuttle playing as bandit is very far removed. And they're actually going to open up the garage differently this time. Now, if you saw last time around, they opened up both panels 1 and 3, leaving that sliver of panel 2 in the middle. Instead, this time around, they've just kind of opened up panel 2, and they've got one giant gaping hole.
Loading mag!
Saw the pre-fires from Young spraying in as soon as the wall had detonated. Almost landing onto the head, I believe that was Slashug, as the smoke playing behind White Van. So identical take so far for EG, identical setup for Rogue, waiting for Shuttle and Super to go out on those roams. We saw them playing on site. It was the 1-4 with Eclipse upstairs, and then eventually the roam came out and they went for their flanks up Visa stairs and Spiral. EG again coalescing outside of the garage. Looks like they want to go for the 4-man push with MVK holding yellow stairs, and he's leaving them very vulnerable to the flanks of both Shuttle and Super.
One of the things that opening up the middle panel does is give you some covering fire if you need it in those two side panels, those little peripheral panels, because you can retreat behind them. When that garage is entirely open, you have to go much farther back. The execute coming down and easily is there this time, expecting it. You saw him push up last time, and well, he's gonna get a little bit more brazen as he pushes up early on, and immediately the Ying not even able to get a Candela down, but Diffuse going down, and it does go successfully. Even though Slash is able to take out Young, it's gonna be a 5v3 with Diffuser down. An easy retake situation in most circumstances. However, you've got that garage door open and the attackers will need to be far enough back, but easily sticking the landing. There's nobody there to see him at all. It's a team kill and nobody notices as easily just sneaks right up. The fire arrow missing by a hair. And you can even see the flames all around him. A team kill from Rogue can't stop the Diffuse from going off. And easily the unsung hero of that round.
You gotta have some kind of map control at that point. You can't plant and then bail without at least having the entirety of the wall around the diffuser open so you can shoot from outside like they did against Mocket. I mean, the perfect thing to do at that point was to have someone press in yellow stairs, but you saw Shuttle pressing down as he was coming from his flank. They weren't expecting the plant to get completed as Slash took down Young while he's completing the plant, but at the same time, there was no one stopping anyone from going for a long arm. Just stick the defuse.
That strikes me as bad call.
Yeah.
Who was watching the diffuser? Whose job was it to let you know that somebody was on it, whether there was a drone or not? It was a 5v3. Rogue gets a kill, goes down to a 5v2. Team kill sets you back at a 4v2. Easily's getting the diffuse off, which means that it's really a 3v2 of capable players. The Capitao from safety launches out one of those asphyxiating bolts, but then can't actually get up to check it, and there's nobody on drone. That's a mistake. That's a big mistake. And that error is going to cost Evil Geniuses one round, even though it was a valiant effort to be able to get the push off, and they did so, actually, getting that plant down in 7 seconds, even after Geo was just eviscerated the moment that he passed through that garage door. Rogue,
10 seconds to go.
Rogue earned that, so Now we head to round number 7
seconds left
between
before
both Rogue and EG. EG's going to be running a very similar lineup, except you've got Young on Hibana. This time around, Rogue will be bringing out easily on the Maestro, anchoring him down with 2 Evil Eyes, or 2 bulletproof cameras of sorts, instead of the Mira being required here. As you can see that they're up in, appears to be console office, and you'll need to try to take care. Usually you clear top down, a little difficult to do on a site when it's on that second floor. That's why you see so many teams establishing control and admin and then pushing out from there.
Leaving the diffuser on the balcony above the garage, not wanting to commit to taking it and possibly losing it in the windowsill, as that does awkwardly happen from time to time if you do die on that rappel. EMP can be placed right in the windowsill for NVK, gonna take down anything pre-placed. They're looking for Valkyrie camps, looking for ADSs, you're looking for, well, Snow Echo on the board, but possibly Yokais. NVK at the yellow skylight as well, trying to hold down those rotations. Doesn't look like Rogue are trying to employ what Mocket were previously with that Jaeger hold on with Panics playing at the top of yellow stairs with the ADSs. They're not going to run into that log jam again. Very wary of a piano run out though, as a window breaks just to the right-hand side of Canadian. He's going to send Geo out to go look for it, and the Valkyrie camp spotted, but there it is. Immediately traded out by BC, but Geo gets down in the process as well. A good sacrifice as you lose all that utility and half the HP off of Geo.
Attackers recover the
If you had managed to get both the Zofia as well as the Ying there, hard-pressed to see how much would be able to counter the rest of Shuttle's ADSs, which he's going to juggle at the top of yellow stairs. And part of why you juggle is that you can pick it up, let a flashbang go through. It's very common for a team to dump 2 of those flashbangs in, or stun grenades as they are technically called, and waste your ADS. Now, on the Evil Geniuses side, of course, avoiding those ADSs in general will be the fact that they have a Capitao who, as we need reminding, those arrows are ADS proof. So they will be able to go down no matter how many ADSs you stack. And even one Candela could possibly wreak havoc. Geo trying to bait out a push onto the balcony, but there's nobody there, and look at that. Geo looks through the window of Connector. That's easily with a very easy kill. Shuttle will jump into the fun as BC is also gone, and NVK in sight though. He'll have to contend, and a beautiful shot from NVK as easily is gone. Super as the Valkyrie will take out Young, and it's all up to NVK. We'll need to clutch this round out for EG. Rogue looking to try to put this on match point and in very good position to do so. A ping comes out from either the Evil Eye or the Valkyrie camera, and Shuttle will shut that one down. NVK, no miracle for him. Match point in favor of Rogue.
I get the intention for Geo on the connector window to try and bait out a run, but why all 3 Candelas? At that point, you're just telegraphing that you're going to repel in. There's no point to jump out at that point, so...
I'm going to take a tactical pause on behalf of Evil Geniuses, opting to do so at the very final round, potentially, of this matchup. And it's been all Rogue all the way down. Not just being able to do a great job in committing to coordination, but also in the fact that they have looked so good. And I don't know where the praise falls, but by being able to pick up 2 players, both Super and Shuttle, work them into your strategies, and be this convincing over a team that many people consider to be the 2nd best team or 3rd best team in the world statistically over the last couple months, it's an astonishing feat. Maybe some praise being given out to Ranger. I'm not entirely certain, their coach, but not a good look for the new EG roster to start things off. Struggling with Cloud9, almost failing to win map number 1 against Mocket, and now against Rogue, who've only dropped 5 rounds so far, have only dropped 2. That still puts them at just 7 rounds. I mean, there's obviously, I'm assuming they're probably going to lose a couple more before we're done here, but that's a pretty good number to be at in terms of where you are. Heading into the semifinals, possibly losing under a dozen rounds, that's 2 games that's just 2 maps that you didn't lose. That's extraordinary, and there's a lot of teams that are in the quarterfinals who've already lost more than that.
The one thing I will say just generally about this entire matchup is Rogue just looks so much more relaxed. They look so loose. They are not afraid to make a play. They're not afraid to take a chance on something. EG looks so rigid. They look so defined, and they're scared. They look like they're scared to break out of that mold. They don't want to stray away in any way from the strat. And I mean, what makes EG is their dynamic play, their ability to break out and make changes on the fly. That's just not happening right now. They're just running their heads against a wall, and Rogue seem to be having fun with it. Like they're moving around. They're very fluid, and it's just perfect to see from Rogue. The fluidity and the flexibility from them. They seem like they're just having fun. That's the best way I can put it. And it looks like EG are just struggling to put anything together, and they don't want to break out of what this preset strategy is.
I think a lot of people looked at the changes to Rogue and were saying that the team was dead. You know, the amount of people who said that Super single-handedly killed that team by jumping onto the roster on Twitter was a pretty laughably high number, if I'm being completely honest with you. And statistically wise, I think a lot of people view Super as being a boat anchor to teams because they don't like him as a person or they don't like his persona or his conduct. But as a player, he's quite a significantly talented player and has done quite well on his teams, fulfilling a number of roles, as you mentioned out earlier, in the very first match of the day against Chaos, playing quite a wide array of operators and being able to IGL, get defuse plants down, and then also being able to play support roles while fragging. That versatility is very important. It can possibly be a quick study, knowing all these players quite intimately, and then of course reuniting with Shuttle was big. For EG, I don't know, I couldn't foresee the fact that moving Necrox off of the team and picking up Geo would make this much of a difference, but it is a seismic change over what many consider to be the best North American team over the last year, and it's only been a week. So if you're EG, hopefully this is just an investment for the future and you're able to sort it out and get better as time goes on.
Launching the stun canisters in. Canadians still playing around the police line, barricade half walls by the planters. Lobby defense from Rogue, and I mean, to close this out, they're looking very, very strong. Again, there's this coalition of attackers all in one central location outside, and it looks like they just want to go for this rush in. Canadian repelled and take a few shots at the feet of Super, but he'll back off with a 40 HP. No reason to fret, and Slash is going to start things off onto NVK with a shotgun, pressing up against the meeting room windows, but he'll fall back to safety, joined by easily the pair, holding down meeting room flawlessly, and a deceptively quick round again. 75 seconds left for EG to put something together. They have zero map control.
I know that Kickstar would be very happy about this, but NVK back on Ash. NVK is a pure fragger. That's the role that he feels very comfortable on. I mean, I think it's good to see him on that. But here's your execute. Rogue manages to evade most of the fire, but there you go. Slash is down, Super is injured, Shuttle is there, Plant goes down successfully, and Young will get out of dodge. I missed the Shroud as smoke, and EG can lock this out. It's just simply playing far enough away. They will seek the comfort of those impenetrable walls, far removed from that diffuser, in a very vulnerable spot for any defender. Cams and Intel don't seem to be aiding anybody from Rogue at the moment. Somebody's going to have to stick it and put themselves in a very vulnerable position, and this should be an easy lock for EG. Canadian with one will go for a second, but Easily and Eclipse somehow get a kill, and that's it. They're all down. This should have been an easy lockout for Evil Geniuses, but Rogue, absolutely miraculous conclusion, and they'll take Map1, EG's map, 6-2.
Same scoreline that Cloud9 hit them with, and the story continues.
G2.
True.
6-2, 6-2, 6-2, 6-2. G2.
Just gotta rub it in, don't you?
Well, no, but I mean, this is a 6-2 is a pretty commanding scoreline because
yes.
Usually what happens is a team will take one or two during the first half and then fall apart in the second. It's the same thing that happened in the SK matchup that was off stream against Space Station Gaming, and that's a proud result for Rogue. I'm very happy. Consulate, of course, was Evil Genius's map, and they did not look strong.
No.
Rogue was able to hold crossfires, they were able to hold the angles, they anticipated a lot of this play. The only real bright spot for Evil Geniuses were the plays that were being made within the first minute of EG's defense by the Vigil of Canadian. Being able to hold down admin, getting a couple picks, getting somebody right at the start, that's huge, and your team should be able to take that lead and roll with it and continue onwards. But the fact that Rogue was able to keep that distance close and then still win rounds, even after multiple members of Rogue were the opening death, being able to recover and then push through and win the round, I think that speaks to the staying power of Rogue that we have. And we head to Clubhouse, which is Rogue's pick, and it should be a comfortable map for them. Not that EG is not good on this map, especially the old Clubhouse was one of EG's best maps for quite a period of time, but this is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and I mean, to take a term from a friend and former pro